welcome back to the Utah Homebuyer Show. I am Debbie Hart, a lender at Security Home Mortgage.
And I'm Christy Fisher with Presidio Real Estate. Today we want to talk about maybe some tips and tricks on how to boost up your
purchasing power.
Purchasing power, how to get into a place. So you go first and then I will go ahead.
Okay, so we've got some creative solutions, right? Because it can be challenging in today's market, especially if you don't already have a property and have the ability to roll your equity into something else. So first-time home buyers, or if they haven't had a home for 3 years, it can be a little bit challenging right now, but we've got some creative tips for you today. So one of them is that I'll give you some actual solutions that we've done. So someone recently did have $15,000 to put down for their down payment and their closing costs, but we were still in an area where the market was having them offer over asking price, and there was a property they wanted, they were right there. So what we decided to do is switch their funding from conventional to Utah housing, where they could have a zero down program and use that $15,000 to cover over asking price or an appraisal gap. So that's one creative solution we can come up with based on what's happening in the market for where you're looking. Another one, this one is particularly for the younger first-time home buyers. So, we're talking people who are just getting out of college. Say you're used to renting with roommates anyway. Well, what we can actually do is we can have up to 4 co-borrowers on one property, or 4 married couples. So what people can do if they don't quite qualify on their own, but they don't want to get further and further out of the game, you want to start building your appreciation and your equity right now, you can buy a property together. So say in scenario 1, 3 college kids buy a condo together. They each live in a room like they would have been doing in a dorm, but now you're an owner, and so you are building your equity with the appreciation, and at the end of a year or 2, you can sell it and you can each split the proceeds, or you can rent it out and you can have an investment property and some partners there. You can pull out a HELOC and split that up and get your own individual properties. There's a lot of things we can do depending on how much equity you have at that point in time, whether you stay there a year or 2. And so married couples can do the same thing if they don't necessarily want to live together, but you've got like 4 married couples that want to figure out how to get into a home. You could buy an investment property together. So you're pooling your down payment funds, you're pooling your resources. We can have 4 couples, that's up to 8 incomes to buy one property, and then you start building your equity that way. So we've got another fun one this one actually, Christy helped some people come up with this creative solution.
So we had a client that we actually kind of worked with together. They didn't have quite as much of a down payment as they wanted. Also, they needed that appraisal gap situation. And so they suddenly they bought a dog that they decided that they were going to breed. And these dogs, they sold puppies and puppies and puppies, and they got like $80,000
$84,000
in like 1 or 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Just from the dogs that they were able to then potentially use for a down payment.
Increase their purchase price.
Yep.
So we can only qualify people. So we have self-employed borrowers was the issue here. So we have to qualify them off of what the tax returns show. However, if you increase your down payment, that can increase your purchasing power. So traditionally, lenders need to source and season a down payment, which means we need to see it in your bank account for 2 months. But if it is new income, which puppy sales were,
Absolutely.
and we could source them with the sales and the receipts and things like that, we were able to use it immediately. So there are a lot of creative solutions to help you guys get into a property, get into the market, and start building your equity.
And sometimes those costs to start something like that is so minimal compared to actually the payout, and to be able to go in and build or buy a home, and the equity from that is far exceeds
Absolutely. I mean, I had someone who was pre-approved back when rates were 3s. They're up to the 5s. They were worried about their their monthly payment being maybe a couple $100 more, but they too started a side business and increased their income a couple $100, and we were able to adjust things enough that they were able to get into a home and not be renting anymore. So
Awesome.
yeah, reach out,
Great
you guys. We can have a consultation, a strategy session, just give you some options to think about for your unique situation on how you could start to work towards home ownership for yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.